In respect for the fact that brotherhood is a lifetime commitment, I now call upon Brother Jason Lyons and the Chapter Eternal Committee to present their report. Brother Lyons.
Brother Regent, Jason Lyons, Mu Pi, Jefferson University. Fellow brothers and guests, it is my honor to formally thank once again the members of the Chapter Eternal Committee. Sean Christie, Kappa Lambda, Akron. George Grimm, Zeta Kappa, Fresno State. Jack Robertson, Mu Kappa, Southeast Missouri. John Griffiths, Kappa Lambda, Akron. Chris Brucker, Epsilon Eta, Tennessee. We would like to offer a special thanks to the General Fraternity staff, especially brothers Todd Denson, Nick Murphy, and Drew Logston. Without their tireless help, this report would truly not have been possible. Brother Regent, at this time, the committee, with heavy hearts and deep regret, must report to you and to the Grand Chapter the passing of our brothers since the 68th Grand Chapter in Washington, D.C. Brothers, our records indicate 1,604 brothers ranging in age from 18 to 103 from 198 chapters have departed life on this temporal earth and entered the Chapter Eternal. We hope that you continue to reflect on their memory by visiting sigmanu.org/Chapter Eternal, or by using the quick link found under the program section within Visibo. Among those that enter Chapter Eternal this triennium are several that the committee would like to highlight. At this point in time, I would like to call on brothers John Griffiths and Chris Brucker.
When Founder Hopkins joined the Chapter Eternal, Founder Quarles paid this tribute to our brother. He said, "The love of our brother for his fellow man was only excelled by the love of his God. His example has instilled into the hearts of us all the principles which guide us now, and these principles will go down to future generations for all time. His life has been an inspiration to all youth. His immortal spirit will live forever." The pictures and names you see before you are individuals specifically noted to have created a spark, which developed into the fraternal flame of some of our fellow attendees. Perhaps Fry said it best when she wrote, "Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glint on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you wake in the morning hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circling flight. I am the soft starlight at night. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there, I did not die."
Sir Thomas Carlyle wrote, "Show me the man you honor, and I will know what kind of man you are. Shows me what your ideal of manhood is, and what kind of man you long to be." It was once written, "For you, brother, I promise you this. I will go on with my life and make you proud. I will always hold you in my heart. I promise you, and I will be missing you every day till the end of time. But this is not my end, and I can't hold my head underwater. I need to breathe. I need to love and miss you, but I also need to live, because through me you will live. You will still laugh and love. You will still sing and dance. You will still hug and kiss. You will forever be in our lives. You will forever be a brother. Even in our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart, until in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awesome grace of God." While the slideshow finishes, let us pause to reflect on those who have joined the Chapter Eternal.
Lastly, it is fitting to bring special attention to those who unwavering dedication and service to Sigma Nu distinguished themselves as mighty oaks. Sadly, during this triennium, 8 of our strongest supporters have fallen, and we would like to pay a special tribute to each of them at this time. These individuals helped define our history, which then shape in our traditions, making them our heroes. To honor such individuals, the only fitting request, the assistance of past regents, past High Council, and a former United States Senator. Brothers and guests, our mighty oaks.
Keep in thy loving care our brothers.
Carl Grover Berry, Delta Omicron. Today we honor our dearly departed brother, Carl Berry of the Delta Omicron chapter at the University of Idaho. Carl was initiated in 1958 as Delta Omicron Initiate Number 738. Carl spent his childhood in Sea Cliff, California, where during World War II, he and his older brother Ken were deputized to look for enemy warships from the top floor of their home overlooking Baker Beach. After graduating high school, he enrolled at the University of Idaho in Moscow as a forestry major. There he was elected vice president of his senior class, graduating in 1962. After graduation, Carl joined the staff of Sigma Nu fraternity in Lexington, Virginia, and reported to Dick Fletcher, the then executive director, and worked alongside Jerry Sherritt, who was editor of the Delta, and Mo Littlefield, who was the senior field consultant at the time. In 1964, Carl left Lexington to work for his family's insurance business, California Casualty Company. In 1966, he struck out on his own to become an independent real estate developer, specializing in the new field of fractional properties. Carl served on the board of the American Developers Association and became a partner in the creation of 2 pioneering urban timeshares, San Francisco Suites and the Manhattan Club. His company, California Resorts, went on to become the nation's leading consulting group for urban and resort-based timeshares and fractional ownerships. Though his business interests were flourishing, Carl saw his way clear to serve as division commander for our California chapters. Carl's leadership and fundraising skills were instrumental in the success of many capital campaign projects, including Lick Wilmerding High School's library, a wing of the Sigma Nu House at University of Idaho, the renovation of the Summer Playhouse in Big Fort, Montana, the Lionel Hampton Music Festival headquarters in Moscow, Idaho, and the establishment of several educational programs at Glacier National Park. Carl joined the board of the Glacier Fund in 2010. When the Glacier National Park Conservancy was established in 2013, Carl chaired the committee on directors. He also served as mentor to incoming board members at Glacier and was unanimously elected to serve another term on the board just before his death. His love of Glacier National Park was infectious, and he led numerous mountain treks there for intrepid friends and family who visited the Berry summer home on the Swan River in Big Fork. Carl's affinity for nonprofit board service led him to 2 additional 11-year terms as director and later president of the Lick Wilmerding High School Board from 1989 to 2000, and as a director and committee chair at Marin Theater Company from 2008 to 2019. He was elected to the Alumni Hall of Fame at the University of Idaho in 2017. In the early 2000s, Carl assisted the Delta Omicron chapter with a major fundraising effort to renovate the chapter house. He also helped form an alumni advisory board for the chapter. In 2005, Carl was elected to the board of directors of Sigma Nu Educational Foundation, where he served until his death in 2020. While on the board, Carl served as secretary, treasurer, and chairman of the development committee. In 2012, Carl was inducted into the Sigma Nu Hall of Honor, the highest honor one can obtain in our brotherhood. Today we salute Brother Carl Grover Berry for his faithful service to his community and to Sigma Nu fraternity.
Today, we honor one of our most beloved Sigma Nu family members, Margaret C. Davis. Margaret Davis worked for the Sigma Nu National Office in Lexington, Virginia from 1959 until she retired in 1984. But for Margaret, retirement only meant that she could spend more time working outdoors instead of inside in an office. The greatest tributes to Margaret's legacy is the family culture she created for both the staff and the volunteer teams. Together with former executive Dick Fletcher, our headquarters campus, both the grounds and the buildings, were created with all of Margaret's input on every detail. Although Margaret was well educated and traveled the world, Margaret put on no airs. Most days you could find her in her dungarees and her work blouse, pulling her two-wheel cart around the grounds, filled with various implements of her trade and an assortment of collection of dug-up weeds and flowers. Although the grounds were her expertise in every way, she did this faithfully up until her late 90s. Margaret exemplified our greatest generation. Her life was dedicated to others and to institutions that form the fabric of our society. Staff members often remarked on how thoroughly they enjoyed the lengthy discussions that would come about whenever they were fortunate enough to find her on the grounds working. She enjoyed explaining exactly what she was working on and why it was important. And she also would take time to tell them what it was going to look like when she had finished. She was thrilled to share her knowledge of plants, architecture, botany, art history, Greek philosophers, and her opinion about mulch and fertilizer. Most conversations would eventually turn to world affairs, with Margaret using current and historical events to remind us on why the mission of Sigma Nu fraternity is so important to us today. Regarding her contributions to creating our Sigma Nu family culture, here is a quote from an interview she did with our fraternity magazine in 2005. I quote, "Sigma Nu is my life. It's kind of like my family. I will be doing this until I die." In recognition of her exceptional service to both the fraternity and the foundation, Margaret was the recipient of the Regents Medallion of Merit, an award given in 2018. She was also an inductee into the Fletcher Honor Society. This is the highest honor bestowed upon the Sigma Nu Educational Foundation. By the way, she is the only lady to be inducted into the Fletcher Honor Society thus far. Margaret set the example for all of us. She will be deeply missed and always remembered by the Brothers of the Legion of Honor and our staff team, both past and present. Today, we honor our dearly departed friend, Margaret C. Davis. May she rest in peace.
April 23rd, 2019, Brother Richard William Dick Doddridge of the Beta Kappa chapter at Kansas State University ascended to the chapter eternal. It's my honor and privilege to tell you about this fine brother. Dick served in the United States Army during World War II and attended West Point in New York. He entered Kansas State University in 1944, joining Sigma Nu shortly thereafter as Beta Kappa Initiate number 488. While in college, not only was he an active member of Sigma Nu, but he was also the business manager of the college yearbook, and the sports editor of the college newspaper. He graduated from Kansas State in 1947 with a degree in journalism. After college, Dick served as sports director of a radio station in Wichita, Kansas, until moving to Kansas City, Missouri to join the Brewer & Company advertising agency. While with Brewer & Company, he played an instrumental role in the merger with Young and Rubicon of New York, which at the time was one of the world's 5 largest advertising agencies. He was with Brewer & Company and his successor company, Young and Rubicon Advertising, for 35 years, serving the last 10 years as its president. American Multi-Cinema, or AMC Entertainment as we know it, hired Dick as its senior vice president for marketing in 1985. Through various innovations, he helped AMC increase average theater attendance by 15%. Dick wasn't just active in his business. He served as a national director of the American Advertising Federation of Washington, D.C., and a regional governor of the American Association of Advertising Agencies in New York City. In 1986, then Kansas Governor John Carlin appointed Dick to the Kansas Board of Regents. As board chairman in 1988-89, he championed public support for the Margin of Excellence, a legislative funding package to aid public higher education in Kansas, and he was lauded for his leadership with an editorial in the Manhattan Mercury. Dick was the interim president of the Kansas City Art Institute and the Atlanta College of Art. He helped boost enrollment and turn the institute from an operating deficit to a budget surplus. He served on the Missouri Woods City Council and spent over 20 years as a trustee of the Kansas State University Foundation. He retired from AMC in 1991 and moved to Venice, Florida in 1993, where he remained active until his death. He was awarded the Kansas State University Alumni Medallion Award for a lifetime humanitarian service in 2003. Dick was also an active member of Rotary International for 50 years, and he and his wife Ann traveled the world extensively for Rotary, and they both received Paul Harris Fellows for their service. He served as a Rotary district governor and helped establish a Rotary Club in St. Petersburg, Russia. During 2004, he wrote a book, Confessions of a Small-Time Name Dropper, chronicling his career in the advertising and motion picture world, including his personal friendship with comedian Jack Benny. While doing all of these marvelous things, Dick remained a devoted member of Sigma Nu, holding important positions on the Sigma Nu Educational Foundation Board of Directors, including as vice chairman and chairman. He was also a member of the Educational Foundation's Leadership Council when it developed the concept for today's LEAD program. Dick received the Educational Foundation's highest honor in 2014 when he was named a member of the Richard R. Fletcher Honor Society for his gifts of time, talent, and treasure. Today we salute Brother Richard William Dick Doddridge for his faithful service to his family, his community, his country, and the Legion of Honor.
Today we honor our dearly departed brother, Dr. Wiley Hutchins of the Epsilon Xi chapter at the University of Mississippi. Dr. Hutchins was initiated in 1950 as Epsilon Xi number 248 from the University of Mississippi. During his collegiate years, Brother Hutchins served as two-term commander of the Epsilon Xi chapter, and he graduated in 1953 with a Bachelor of Arts degree. Brother Hutchins married the love of his life, Mary Janice Morris of Macon, Mississippi in 1953, and shortly thereafter, he entered the United States Air Force as a first lieutenant. For most of his service, Brother Hutchins was stationed at Nasser Air Force Base in Casablanca, French Morocco, North Africa. He was honorably discharged from the Air Force in late 1955 and resumed his education. Brother Hutchins received his medical degree in 1960 from the University of Mississippi Medical Center at Jackson, and while there he served as student body president. I remember, even though he was in medical school, he'd come down to the Sigma Nu chapter at Ole Miss and visit with us at our night meal, and he was a real inspiration to all of us. He continued his medical training in Memphis, first as an intern at the City of Memphis Hospital, and then as general surgeon resident at the Kennedy VA Hospital.
He completed his training with a degree and then went on to a 3-year fellowship in orthopedic surgery at the Campbell Foundation. He remained at the Campbell Clinic as a member of the staff and subsequently as a partner. Wiley served as an orthopedic consultant to Mississippi State University athletic teams and to the Liberty Bowl. After moving to Columbus, Mississippi in 1977, he served as athletic doctor to the Mississippi State University from 1979 until his retirement in 1996. Brother Hutchins' professional and community activities were voluminous, included serving as president of the Mississippi Orthopedic Society and as the Mississippi representative on the Board of Counselors for the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. He was also an advisory member of the National Athletic Trainers Association and a contributor to the Orthopedic Research and Education Foundation. Brother Hutchins was greatly involved with Sigma Nu throughout his life, serving on the Epsilon Xi House Corporation from the mid-70s through the early 90s. His great love of Sigma Nu led many family members to become Sigma Nu initiates, including his brother-in-law, Lawrence Brunson Morris, his son, Wiley Hutchins Jr., and his grandson, Wiley C. Hutchins III, and his son-in-law, Brian Walter Klutz. Brother Wiley Hutchins' life was guided by the creed of Sigma Nu, believing in the life of love, walking the way of honor, and serving in the light of truth. Today, I'm honored to be able to salute Brother Hutchins for a faithful service to his family, his community, his country, and the Legion of Honor.
Brothers and friends, it is with great honor, but with a feeling of great loss, that I join you today to remember and honor our dearly beloved departed brother, Tom Mason, of the Epsilon Epsilon chapter at Oklahoma State University. Tom was my mentor and my hero, and he taught me how to make our Sigma Nu brotherhood a lifelong journey of joy. Brother Mason began his Sigma Nu journey at Oklahoma State University, where he was initiated in 1959 as Epsilon Epsilon number 843. While an undergraduate, he had several officer positions, including a term as our commander. He graduated from Oklahoma State with a Bachelor of Science degree, then went on to obtain a law degree from the University of Tulsa. He immediately discovered a calling for helping others through the practice of law. He was admitted to the Bar Association in 1966 and was a highly respected and successful Tulsa attorney for over 44 years. He received the prestigious Golden Rule Award from the Tulsa County Bar Association in 2005. During his time as an attorney, Tom was a friend, a mentor, and a father figure to countless Tulsans and was well loved by all who knew him. Tom's service to Sigma Nu continued immediately upon his graduation. He became a division commander for Sigma Nu in 1973 and served in that role on and off until 1992. He also served on the Sigma Nu Leadership Council, which was responsible for developing our LEAD program. His service to his beloved Epsilon Epsilon chapter was monumental until the very end of his life, and he is often referred to as our father of Epsilon Epsilon. He served for many years as our chapter advisor and for decades on the Epsilon Epsilon Housing Corporation. The Epsilon Epsilon Tom Mason Hall of Honor was established, and we were so very proud in 2014 that Tom received Sigma Nu's highest honor, induction into the Sigma Nu Fraternity Hall of Honor. Today we salute Brother Tom Mason for his faithful service to his family, including his wife Nancy, his children Whitney, Shay, and Mitchell, and his very loved grandchildren. We celebrate his service to our Tulsa community and his service to the Legion of Honor. Tom Mason lived and loved our Sigma Nu creed. He was a consummate gentleman and a valiant knight. Rest in peace, Tom, in our chapter eternal. Thank you, and may God bless Sigma Nu.
Robert Allen McCulley, Eta Kappa 92, San Diego State University. Past High Council member, past Sigma Nu staff member, successful businessman, Hall of Honor member, and Grand Historian par excellence. After his initiation as Eta Kappa 92, Bob served as chapter commander, Rush chairman, and treasurer. He also served in San Diego State's Student Senate for 3 years, was student body treasurer his senior year, and was named outstanding contributor to student government for 2 consecutive years. I first met Bob in 1973 when we were both employed by Sigma Nu. He as a member of the first team of regional leadership consultants and me as a summer intern, which led to a lifelong friendship. After his time on the staff, Bob served Sigma Nu as a division commander from 1975 to 1978 and as a vice regent from 1978 to 1982. Bob had a rewarding business career in finance, which also led to his meeting the joy and love of his life, his wife, Paulette Luke. Bob's CPA license and his coursework in finance led to positions at Ernst & Whinney accounting firm, Genstar Corporation, a building materials, real estate, and financial services company, international venture capital investment firms in the San Francisco area, and as a director of Dresden Kleinwort Wasserstein, a major international investment bank. It was during his time at Genstar that Paulette, working for a Canadian software company, was asked to travel to San Francisco to sell to a grumpy finance guy at Genstar. For Bob, who proved to be quite the nice guy, it was love at first sight, and the couple went on to have a long and very happy marriage for 37 years. After spending several years focusing on his career, Bob re-engaged with Sigma Nu in 2002 by attending Grand Chapter. In 2006, he and I began discussions on the need for improvements in the fraternity's archives. He had conducted extensive genealogical and historical research on both branches of his family and loved the work. In 2008, during a visit to the Bay Area, Bob and I and our wives had lunch together and visited the Sausalito Museum afterwards. Bob's passion for history was clear, and I told him on the spot that I wanted him to become Grand Historian when I became regent that summer. Bob served admirably in this position until his death in 2019, under 4 succeeding regents. He worked tirelessly to preserve our future and to bring to light our past, spending countless hours in Lexington at headquarters, cataloging and preserving our historical items and chapter files. He also began writing a series of Delta articles on Sigma Nu's history entitled Perspectives on the Past, which became one of the most popular items in the magazine. Bob also served as a member of the fraternity's 150th anniversary committee and co-produced the video used at the anniversary celebrations, which was dedicated to him and his memory. Perhaps Bob's greatest strength and contribution to Sigma Nu was his commitment to lifelong learning and to listening to others. In gatherings with our students, he would always tell fellow alumni leaders to sit with the collegians and not at the reserve tables. He always did. And his listening to students and fellow alumni made him one of our greatest raconteurs, as well as being admired, loved, and respected by all. But he also was fearless in pursuing his passions based on those discussions. The War Memorial and the Future Archives facility at headquarters are 2 projects that will be testaments to his pursuit of excellence. In 2014, Bob McCulley became the 83rd inductee into Sigma Nu's Hall of Honor, the highest distinction a brother can achieve. He entered Chapter Eternal in 2019, and his columbarium marker bears the tenets to which he remained true: love, honor, and truth. We salute him today for his faithful service.
Today, we honor our dearly departed brother, Colonel Paul J.B. Murphy, Jr. of the Lambda chapter at Washington and Lee University. Paul was initiated in the spring of 1943 as Lambda number 507. After finishing his freshman year, Paul enlisted in the Army and continued to serve through World War II in the China-Burma Theater, rising to the rank of first lieutenant. Then in the fall of 1946, he left active duty and returned to Washington and Lee to continue his education. Paul's leadership abilities became apparent early on. He served as head of his pledge class, and then during his senior year was elected commander of the Lambda chapter. He served on the university's Interfraternity Council as Sigma Nu's representative and led the post-World War II reorganization of their IFC. As a member of the University Dance Board, he participated in its financial restructuring and became its first business manager. In 1949, he served as student representative on the university's Bicentennial Commission to celebrate its 200th anniversary. That same year, he was elected to the Alpha Circle of Omicron Delta Kappa, a national leadership fraternity. Brother Murphy graduated cum laude in June of 1949 and returned to active duty in the Army that same year. In a distinguished military career that followed, Brother Murphy commanded every echelon of infantry units, from platoon through brigade, and served in both the Korean and Vietnam Wars. Interspersed with his command assignments were tours of duty with the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Office of the Secretary of Defense in Washington, D.C. He retired in the grade of colonel from the Army in 1977 and spent 10 years with Systems Development Corporation as project manager designing control and command systems for NATO. A lifelong fly fisherman, Brother Murphy was involved in a variety of efforts to restore and protect trout fisheries, which led him to his third career, the direction and production of environmental documentary videos with 7 titles to his credit. He also is a published author. He wrote and published 2 novels, A Special Time in 2005 and Mountain Boy in 2013. Brother Murphy, however, never forgot Sigma Nu fraternity. He continued to serve the Legion of Honor throughout his life, both on the chapter and national levels. He was an active member of Lavenders House Corporation when the chapter fell on hard times. He took the lead to restore it to the prominence it enjoyed during his college days. Recognizing the lead for a campus-wide rejuvenation of the fraternity system, Paul spearheaded one of the greatest undertakings in the history of the fraternity movement in higher education, the Washington and Lee Fraternity Renaissance Program, for which he was honored by the National Interfraternity Council. On the national level, Paul served as a division commander of the then Mid-Atlantic Division, but his greatest contribution came when he was asked to accept the position as the lead program's first director, which he agreed to do, but only as a volunteer. Paul spent countless days at the national headquarters, driving back and forth from his home in McLean, Virginia, to Lexington, as he steered what has become the fraternity's signature program from concept through development and into early implementation. At the same time, Brother Murphy also found time to serve on the foundation's board of directors as the board secretary. In 1990, he was named Alumnus of the Year, and 2 years later received the fraternity's highest recognition when he was elected to our Hall of Honor. Today, we salute Colonel Paul J.B. Murphy, Jr. for his faithful service to his family, his country, his community, and the Legion of Honor. Thank you.
Brothers, today we honor our dearly departed brother, William Keller Bill Stauffer of the Gamma Gamma chapter at Albion College. Bill was initiated in the spring of 1972 as Gamma Gamma number 1173. Bill graduated in 1974 and went on to receive his master's degree from the University of Northern Colorado, returning home to take over his family business, Albion Machine and Tool. Apart from the time he spent earning a master's degree from the University of Northern Colorado, Bill spent his life in Albion as a successful businessman, community leader, and loyal alumnus of Sigma Nu fraternity and Albion College. Bill served on Albion's Board of Trustees from 1984 and 2014, 30 years. And likewise, he spent decades as the chapter advisor for Sigma Nu's Gamma Gamma chapter. He underwrote personally many influential projects, including the Stauffer Lecture that brought such speakers as actor James Earl Jones, First Lady Barbara Bush, commentator Fareed Zurika, Duke University basketball coach Mike Krzyzewski, and author Bill McKibben to the campus. Bill established and supported several college scholarships and programs and provided the Science Complex's Stauffer Clock Tower. Despite the demands of his work as president of Albion Machine and Tool, he took leadership roles with dozens of civic, commercial, and professional organizations, a few of which include the Calhoun County United Arts Council, Chemical Bank South, the Albion NAACP, the National Association of Manufacturers, the Albion Historical Society, Albion Community Hospital, Albion Downtown Redevelopment Advisory Board, Albion Department of Public Safety, and the Star Commonwealth Schools. He was also Vice President of Velocity Manufacturing in Albion and even served a 2-year term as Mayor of Albion, Michigan. In recognition of his civic service and professional achievements, Bill was the recipient of the Outstanding Young Man of America Award, the NAACP Community Service and Pillar of Democracy Awards, and the Albion Festival of Forks Citizens Award. Bill encouraged his fellow alumni to share this giving spirit. His senior class gift challenge to the class of 1995 resulted in the highest participation rate in college history. To commemorate Sigma Nu Centennial at Albion College, Bill gave a founding gift to the Sigma Nu Scholarship Fund and encouraged his fellow alumni to support their future brothers. Bill did all these things and still had time for Sigma Nu, serving in several leadership positions on the Sigma Nu Educational Foundation Board beginning in 2002. He served on the executive committee from 2002 until 2011, was chairman in 2008 through 2009, and as life director from 2014 until his death in 2019. Brothers, he is a wonderful and great man. On a personal level, my wife Terry, our 2 sons Trevor and Hunter, knew and were saddened to hear of Bill's passing. He was a mentor to many men, including myself, men such as Craig Hasemeyer, Al Worster, and many, many others. He will be missed.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you, brothers, for those beautiful remembrances. Brothers and guests, the Creed of Sigma Nu teaches us to keep green the sainted memory of our loved and lost, their faults forgotten, their virtues enshrined in our hearts forever. We pray that our simple acts here today have been a fitting tribute. We shall never forget our brothers that are passed on, nor the last time we saw them face to face, sitting in chapter meetings and countless moments of joy and fellowship together. And then they slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. Brother Regent, in closing, I would like to quote one of the last known transmissions from one of our founders, James Franks Hopkins. "There is one thing that I know. If the Sigma Nu fraternity will cling to the old landmarks and not get off on a tangent, seeking pleasure instead of happiness, she will grow and live when you and I am but a memory. The brotherhood of man is the offspring of the fatherhood of God, accepting the latter and living up to the true principles of the forever. Storms may beat against them to toss them aside, but practicing the true principles of honor, integrity, justice, truth, and fraternity, they will come off conquerors in the end." Brother Regent, this concludes the final report of the Chapter Eternal Committee.
Brothers of the Chapter Eternal Committee, thank you so much for that moving program and tribute to our loved and lost. I'd like to ask the entire Grand Chapter to take a 15-second moment of silence in honor of these great brothers who have entered the Chapter Eternal. Amen. Brothers, I'd also like to acknowledge a special set of guests we have for the Chapter Eternal presentation. One of the Mighty Oaks represented was our beloved brother, Bob McCulley. His wife, Paulette, joins us, as does several of Bob's siblings. While we won't hear from them today, Paulette and siblings, we wanted to let you know how much we appreciate you being with us, how much we miss Bob, and how proud I'm sure he is of each of you. Thanks so much for what he and you have meant to Sigma Nu through the years.